2020, a year like no other.
I urge you, at this moment of national emergency, to stay at home, protect our NHS, and save lives.
A season like no other. But from all the bad came in sport a little bit of good for one club.
Newcastle Thunder will play in Rugby League's Championship next season.
And now it's time to start that championship adventure. And what better place to start it than here? Home, Kingston Park. Without you, for now, but with this, forever. New faces, new rules, new beginnings. Questions to be asked. Are Thunder ready for the championship? Is the championship ready for the Thunder? For this is a league that throws up stories, history. An opening weekend is no different, with a trip down memory lane. A familiar badge for some, a familiar face at Kingston Park, looking to make an early season impression of his own. But all that's for later. There's rugby returning this weekend. Black and white, in Newcastle, on opening game. Well, it was always meant to be. So the stage is set. New coach, former coach, expansionists, heartlands, Super League aspirants, Super League pedigree. And after a year, a season like no other. For all those lost, for all those missed, 2021 is for you. This is for you. Thunder, Vikings, the beginning of the Betfred Championship. It is time, but whose time is it?
And if you're not hyped for the new season after that, I really don't know what we'll do it. Hello there, folks. After one of the most difficult, tragic, and strange years that many of us can remember in our lifetimes, how good does it finally feel to have something to look forward to? Super League last week. This weekend, it's the return of the Betfred Championship for the first time in 11 years. It's a championship that will feature the Newcastle Thunder. We've been waiting for this one ever since it was announced back in December that Thunder would be promoted. And what a way to return to. Widnes Vikings, the visitors to Kingston Park on Sunday. A game that will be streamed live and exclusive, remember, on the RFL Our League app from 4:45. So get tuned in for that one. And it's a game with so many links between the two clubs as well. Thunder, of course, led by Widnes legend Denis as director of rugby. Former Vikings favourite Amo Carroll now installed as head coach at Kingston Park. Whole host of Thunder players who used to wear the black and white of Widnes. And, of course, in charge of the Vikings these days, a man who's well-known and still very well-liked, I'm told, as well, around these parts, Simon Finnigan, who left Newcastle to join Widnes. Keeping up? I'm glad you are. Anyway, to look ahead to this one, we thought that we'd put together this pre-match press conference, and we're joined now, I'm delighted to say, by two of the blokes that I've just mentioned, Denis Betts and Simon Finnigan, who should be being introduced to this press conference format as it stands. Gents, welcome along to this presser with a difference. All virtual, of course. We are in 2021 after all. How are we both? How are we both doing?
You can go, Denis.
Good. Nice early morning start. Looking forward to the weekend. The sun's shining outside. We're the hottest day in March at the moment, so it's brilliant. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Ever the gents, Simon, things haven't changed. Letting Denis go first.
Oh, no, it's not a contest, is it? So I can let him go first. It's good. Rugby's back. As Denis said, the sun's out. So there's not much we can complain about in terms of our industry at the moment. So it's good.
We have to start with kind of how things are currently. Simon, if I start with you, you of course left Thunder back in November to join Widnes. Have you both spoken since, or is it like one of those where, because I know obviously both of you are very, very good friends, or is it like that situation where an ex leaves you and you just doesn't reply to your texts ever since after that?
No, and initially when it all sort of come about, I spoke with Denis and we spoke pretty honestly with each other, you know, and it's something that my relationship certainly as a coach and director of rugby between myself and Denis has always been. He's been there for advice and he's been really good with me in terms of that. So we had a really good chat initially, and then we spoke since. He gave me a call not long ago, and we speak. You know, we wouldn't speak all the time, but our jobs dictate that. You know, he's got to look after lots of stuff on his side, and I've got to look after stuff on mine. But we still speak, and again, he's always there for advice, and you know, that's the type of person he is, and someone that I will lean on again in the future.
And naturally for you, Simon, you said when you joined it was too big an opportunity to pass up. It was a privilege to rejoin Widnes. How much has it lived up to expectations being back at the club where it all began 18 years ago? I guess you don't miss the travel at the very, very least.
Oh, no, yeah. The travel never bothered me, to be honest. It's not something that I haven't ever had an issue. You normally your travel's dictated by your company. So, you know, I had pretty good company traveling up and down Newcastle. So it's not too bad. And yeah, it has lived up to it. I mean, the travel's got less, but I'm in more. So I'm working more. I spend more time in the office. So that's probably a good thing as well. Certainly for my wife, she didn't get to see me, but yeah, it has, there's different challenges and there's different things that weren't there at Newcastle that are here, and there's, you know, pluses and minuses to both, but it has been good. But, you know, it's just good to be back on the field. That's the main thing. Once we get up and running, then a lot of things are very similar. You know, once we start going, all the same problems and all the same issues, and the good stuff is the same no matter where you're coaching.
Denis, just to bring you in, we moved pretty quickly in replacing Simon. In came Freddie. He's not here, so naturally you can say what you like about him. But how impressed have you been with how he's settled into the role? But why did you think as well he was ready for that step up to number one after his time at Catalan?
Well, I'd worked with Freddie before. I had very similar feelings to what Simon. I knew Simon for a long time. I know what his work ethic was like, and I knew his desire to be to be an exceptional coach for us. And it's like I say, it's not that it just an opportunity. And I think the same was for him, and it's not a massive step up for him. Like I say, he's been working super the last 2 years. He's been working in the elite end, similar to the way Simon was looking at the elite end when I brought him in, and I knew what I was going to get. I was going to get somewhere that would work really hard, was dedicated to making the team better and improving the players. And that's what it was with Freddie. It was a relationship thing. And going back to the original point, well, like I say, was what sport does it bonds us in rivalry, but it bonds us. And I've got lots and lots of friends throughout the game, and I still look at Sam as a very good friend. So, like, even though we've worked together, it's not that anything changes. We still got rivalry, and we've still got the bond of what we've suffered together and what we've been through together. So that's what keeps people close. That's what sport does to you. It bonds you at levels that most people don't ever get a chance to do, which is something that we really, really enjoy. And Freddie was a similar kind of situation. I'd known him a long time. I knew what I was going to get. I knew the kind of person he was, and I was looking forward to seeing him on the training field.
Sam, Freddie said you were one of the first to drop him a message when he was appointed. Did you give him any advice on Newcastle? Anything said between the two of you on the Thunder?
Oh, no, I just said if you need anything, that I'm always there at the other end of the phone. But like it is, I was happy for him. I've known Eamon for a long time as well, and I know how that feeling is when you know in yourself that you want to take that role on and step up to be a head coach. And he clearly was at that point, and I just wanted to, I've still got obviously good relationships with Newcastle. I know such a good club it is. So I'm more than happy for him to do well there. I want him to do well, and obviously not this weekend, but he won't want me to do well this weekend either. But then when we go our separate ways, I clearly want him to be successful because he's a good fella and it's a great club.
I suppose we can't talk as well, just moving very quickly on, and not talk about what the situation's been like across the last 12 months, I suppose, but certainly in the last few. From both of your perspectives, Denis for carrying Thunder into a new league and a new season, Simon for being at do we call it a new club? I mean, being back at Widnes. How difficult has the situation over the last year been to work in assessing how things are at respective clubs? Denis, if you want to kind of go first.
Well, it's been, I can't really express how difficult it's been at times and how the years just seems to have flown by now. It's you didn't really know what you was doing 1 week to the next. We was having meetings about things and putting plans in place that were being changed. So at the start, they were being changed daily. Then it was being changed weekly, and then it's been changed monthly. And we're still in that situation now. And we've got to be really careful that we want to get this season up and running, but we don't know what's on the corner still. We don't know what next month will bring. We don't know if some clubs could be shut down because of a lot of cases within their organisations, whether games will be put off or we're not really sure. So it's just being able to stay light on your feet and not let it get to you too much and not think that everything's hard and fast. We've got to be able to move a little bit with what's happening. And squads are smaller. You've got to be careful how you put the players out on the field at the moment. We've got players, when we played in our pre-season game, we had players that I thought it was 12 months, there's a lot of them, but we had players that hadn't played for nearly 16, 17 months because they hadn't played at the start of the season before. They were missing for injuries. So it's a long time, and those are the kind of injuries that if you had them before, but you're still getting back from being injured, you're on the field and you're running around with the team and you get it. But these lads have been isolated, they've been sat on Zoom, they've not really done anything in the way of high-speed training or rugby training. So it's been a strange one since the start of January, and now we're starting to competitive element, which is totally different to the training element. So we're going to run into injuries and squads are going to be stretched, but that's not just in Newcastle. That's across every single game, every single team in the league, I think. So to answer your question, we're still in the middle of it. It's been good to get back. It's been great to get on the field and get around the lads. But again, we're still having to think on our feet, and it's a constant battle to make sure that we can get a team on the field and keep this league going this year.
Sam, what about for you? What's it been like kind of getting into Widnes, but obviously within these restrictions that have been taking place?
Yeah, I mean, it's been difficult, but I would say in terms of where we're at in the world and things like that, we haven't had it the worst of some people have. Certainly coaches and people that aren't playing, it's been difficult because you're trying to plan and different things like that. You're playing a week's training, then something might hold you back or things like that. So that's difficult. But I mean, in terms of the players, I think I couldn't imagine how they've tried to adapt to it. I think they've been superb, to be fair. Even before I left Newcastle, I thought they were very good and how they kept themselves going. And since I've come to Widnes, the same. I can't speak highly enough of all the players across all the leagues. It's hard enough. I've been injured before where you've been out 3, 4, 5 months. These guys aren't injured. And like Denis said, some of them have not played for over 12 months, which is it's just unheard of. So for them to keep themselves mentally ticking over and physically going and then to come back and I think put on the performances in training and games that they have is an incredible feat for them. Like I say, across all the leagues, you watch Super League, NRL, Championship, the quality, like I'll moan and Denis will moan about certain things that aren't up to scratch, but they're playing pretty good, in terms of not doing something for a long time. They're pretty close to being as good as they can be. So that's an impressive part of it, and that shows the love of the game some of them have got and the attitude that they've got, whether they're part-time, full-time. I mean, they should take huge credit away from that because, that in a couple of years' time when we're back in the slog of day-to-day pre-season as it is, we'll forget about it and it'll be back to normal. But what they've done in the last 14 months and so forth is incredible, I think.
And we'll naturally get to see them this Sunday. We have to move on to preview this one. Given the links between the two clubs, was it almost inevitable? Was it almost written by the rugby league gods that the opening game would be Widnes Vikings, Newcastle Thunder on that Sunday or not?
It was. I think everybody was preempting it. It was one of those when it came out. It wasn't really a shock. It was one of those kind of things. I actually thought we might have got them sooner in the cup. It was one of those kind of things like that. But yeah, it was in the links between everybody and everybody, especially in Newcastle and Widnes, would have thought that way. But we've got to play each other one time or another.
Yes.
I'm glad it's at Kingston Park, but I wouldn't have minded it being at Widnes. It's only half an hour away from where I live as well, so it's a similar kind of situation as Simon. So it's we've got to play each other sometimes, so we might as well get it over with.
I've seen in certain quarters, shall we say, this is a game that's being described as a grudge match. Given the respect and the friendship between you two, and with Eamon as well, how surprised are you both to read and to hear that, or even not surprised at all, Simon?
Oh, it's just they're probably just trying to build it up, aren't they, and create something that is there. Well, there's rivalries in any game. Let's be clear about that. Like Denis touched on it earlier. Like you go into any game and the professional in you wants to win. So that rivalry is going to be there regardless of who it is, whether it's a derby or not. But I mean, in terms of it being a grudge match and things like that, well, it's clearly not that. I think most of the players still speak between themselves and things like that, and the connections there. Everyone's pretty on decent terms. But in saying that, the people on the field when that kickoff goes, they're going to try and hurt each other and win. So that's why it's a grudge match and rivalry. But that's the same every week. You want to win, and you'll do your best to win. So that's always there. But there is add a little bit of dimension to it because of the connections and how recent some of them connections are. So, it's I'm not so much a grudge match, but certainly it's an intriguing encounter, I'd probably put it.
Denis, no grudges you want to air particularly today? You're happy, you're fine?
No, I've never been involved in a grudge match ever. I've been doing this for 30 years now. I've never been involved in a grudge match. It's always been win. So every single game's about wanting to be the best you can be on the day. I know, like I said, there's plenty. I go back to it. Like I said, this is a small world we live in. I know, like I say, everybody knows everybody. Like we've got players that have been associated, know each other. But you'll find that I've got players that are associated through teams in Doncaster. So like everybody and Sam will have the same. There's a connection somewhere within your team with every single club that you're going to run into. Simon being the coach at Widnes at the moment we play Widnes, yeah, that's the thing, because he was a coach at Newcastle last year. So that's something that brings out a rivalry. Again, it's nice when the press just sort of put that line underneath and hopefully try and drag somebody else into it and turn it into some kind of grudge. But there's no grudges there. Like I say, the one thing I want Simon is I want to be successful. I want Widnes to be successful. I've got a great association there. I worked there for 8 years. And the part of that club will always be part of me, and I want it to be successful. And it's just not this weekend, but I want it to be successful. So that's how it comes. But I want Simon to be the coach that I know he can be, and I want him to fulfil his ambition of being the best coach possible, but not this weekend.
Just a couple on the game, finally, gents, itself. For you, Denis, from a Thunder perspective, lots of changes, I suppose, on both sides. I mean, the Thunder squad largely unrecognisable from one that Simon left behind. Where's this one going to be won or lost against a very, very experienced Widnes side, it has to be said, Denis, with a pretty strong spine from what I can tell?
We're just finding our feet at the moment, and it'll be our third game as a group together. Lots of lads that have debuted against Swinton, so we had 13 debuts against Swinton. We're just trying to get some kind of rhythm into us at the moment, and our training, big start, and we're training okay. So won or lost, it'll be better we can find some rhythm. And actually, you run into a side now that's pushed into the semi-finals of the 1895 Cup and had a good win on the weekend. But I think we're still trying to find that rhythm. Everybody's just trying to get back on the horse, so to speak. Like I said, and you've got to be impressed by the players who just sort of slotted back into it. But when the tension goes up and the game becomes a little bit more important, then obviously you need time on the training field. You need time as a connected unit to get to levels you want to. So it'll be one of loss for whichever team finds its feet first or gets into its rhythm quickest and can hold itself.
And Simon, for you, from a Widnes perspective, normally when we speak to a former coach who's playing against his former side, there's a fair amount of insight into the squad and the patterns and everything like that. Naturally, with so many changes at Thunder, what are you expecting from your Widnes side this Sunday after an excellent Challenge Cup win at the weekend?
Well, we just need to keep improving. I mean, you watch across all the games at the moment, no one's would say that they're putting complete performances together. There's patches in every game that you're not happy with, and there's patches that are really good. You know, that's just the nature of players not playing for so long. I think you watched Newcastle's last game against Swinton. In patches they were excellent, and then in patches they weren't very good. You watch our game against Whitehaven, in patches again really good. In patches we were horrendous. So that's Denis made a very good point about who can find that little bit of consistency for the longest period will probably come out on top, and we're all trying to find that consistency at the moment, and like it will come. It's improving every week and making them better pitches of the game longer than they were the week before. So we'll have to play well to beat them because they're obviously a good side, and they're trying to find their feet. The more they've had training, they'll get better. The more games, they'll get better, and so we're under no illusions that they're a good side, and if they do connect at the right time, they're going to be very dangerous. So, but in saying that, if we do the same, we're a dangerous side. So I think it's got a makings of a really good game. Hopefully we both click at the same time, and it's a great spectacle to watch. But we're still early in the season, so we're all trying to find that right balance at the moment.
Definitely looking forward to a crack. Just before I let you go, guys, just to look ahead to kind of the rest of the season, it's just for Widnes, Simon, I suppose we'll start with you. How fair is it to describe this season as looking for a bit of a stability, a foundation to build off after a turbulent couple of years?
Yeah, I think that's the same for everyone. I think if anyone that can sit here and say that they want to try and do this and that this year is very dangerous. We're coming off the back of something that's never been seen before. So all good intentions and the right thing that we want to get to and see, it's going to take it week by week and just try and find them improvements. I've got to improve my players. That's the main thing. That's my job. I'm a coach. I've got to get my players better. Where that takes us, we think we might know. But again, my job's to make every individual at this club better, and we'll see how that pans out at the end of the season. In terms of stability, we all want that. Clearly, Widnes want that because of where we've been in the past, and we're on a good path to that, and we like where we're going in terms of that. But I would imagine every club wants the same at the moment because, again, Denis said it earlier as well. We've come through a really tough patch, but we still don't clear what's around the corner. We might think we are, but that changes ever so quickly in the current environment, not sport, but where we are in the world. So it's about, again, my job's about improving players in all the clubs that, in a little bit of a holding pattern, and let's see how it plays out week to week and month to month, and when we go through each stage of this virus and where that leads us, because that's got a huge effect on everything else at the moment.
And just a final word from you, Denis. I suppose on Thunder, I know we spoke a few weeks ago and you said this is a team with aspirations and not expectations. What are those aspirations?
Well, we're just, again, it's our aspirations are to the best team we can be.
Yeah.
I'd say you put people in place. I'd say my job is to put somebody in charge of the team that's going to make all the players better. I feel like I've done that again now. So on the back of the last coach, I think I've done it the similar kind of thing where I put somebody in charge who wants to make people better. My job then is to look at the overall structure of the club and how we can keep developing as an organisation. I think the team will get better this year. I think we've completely restructured the squad to suit the championship. We knew that we couldn't take the League One group into the championship without adding a number of faces. We also lost some players because they didn't want to take that step. They were happy with where they were.
Yeah.
And it's about just, again, I think Simon is, we just got to find our feet. We've got to move from day to day. Know what each week's going to be different. I say the squads are smaller. The ability to find players is harder because everybody's holding on to them because you just don't know what's around the corner. There's no second grade being played. The loan spells the players getting out has changed. Just finding and keeping players that are going to make you better is tougher. So you've got to be, coach has got to be smarter on the field with players, what he demands of them, but he also has to be understanding of how hard it is at the moment to be the best player you can be.
Tremendous. Well, guys, thank you very, very much for your time today. We can't wait to Sunday. Denis, pleasure as always. Simon, great to see you again, even if it is over a webcam. We'll see you on Sunday with Widnes Vikings when you turn up at Kingston Park. Thank you very much for your time today. Really, really appreciate it. And it should be an absolute belter on Sunday as well. So thank you very much, gents. That pretty much does us for this pre-match press conference. A reminder again, we cannot remind you strongly enough, Newcastle Thunder against Widnes Vikings, the opening game of the Betfred Championship, live and exclusive to watch on the RFL Our League app from 4:45 on Sunday. We look forward to seeing you tune in for that one. But 11 years Thunder have had to wait for a return to the Championship. A year rugby league fans have had to wait for the return of the second tier. What's a few more days to wait, eh? From me, Andy Sixsmith, thanks for watching. Bye for now.